You know, growing up as a kid, I fell in love with the Pokemon franchise, and it's not actually the games that got me so interested in the franchise as I got older. It was solely the Pokemon anime series that was based on the games, which happened to spawn a game called Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition, loosely following the events of the anime and introducing the ability to walk with your Pokemon, mainly Pikachu. The anime was a cool idea because people who didn't know about the series didn't need to play the games to find out what was going on. Like, for example, they didn't need to know for a fact that a player literally caught 6-foot tall birds in something the size of a baseball. Instead, all they had to do was sit back, watch them, and they were on the action. The franchise has origins that date back to the late 1980s when creator Satoshi Tajiri pitched an idea for a video game to Nintendo, involving collecting creatures and training with others inspired by the game Link Cable and accessory to the Nintendo Game Boy. With assistance from Shigeru Miyamoto, creator of the Mario franchise, Tajiri, serving as game director, began development for what later became Red and Green in 1990, lasting for nearly 5 years between 1990 and 1995 before being released on February 27, 1996 in Japan, when Tajiri's dream became reality. By the time the games were completed in 1995 though, few media outlets gained the game's attention, mostly due to the fact that at the time the Game Boy was declining in popularity, not to mention the fact that initially Nintendo didn't really get the concept of the games. This led to the belief that Red and Green wouldn't sell out as well as both Nintendo and Tajiri feared, so perhaps that meant that Red and Green weren't really going to be successful once they were released to the public. But surprisingly enough, we all know how they performed commercially. Hello everyone, I'm Phillip and I'm a Let's Player. We are back for more Pokémon FireRed, here to celebrate Pokémon's 20th anniversary on February 26th, no, not the 26th, the 27th, 2016. Even I apparently can't remember things from the last time I tried recording this. Long story short, this is actually the third time I'm trying to record this episode. The first time around I had a little bit of a commentary problem, and it kept repeating over and over again. It's a mess, let's just say that. I had a bit of a commentary problem. I accidentally saved at the end of my first take, had to do everything over and over again, and got to the second take, didn't like the commentary in that because of the background noise, so that's why I'm doing this third take. Recording problems, not fun, I will say that. But hey, I'm improving. I'm totally improving. Hey, let's just get this started. I want to first off show you right now that I did some training off screen as a result of this second time I'm trying to do this. Greg the second is now at level 9. Mockingjay, we got her this again for the third time in a row. Second time actually, I think. At level 4. And we have a Rattata, which is at level 3, but I have no use for Rattata, which is why I'm going to deposit in my PC. That's not... that is not depositing Pokemon. There we go. Okay, we won't need you for a while. Alright, today's episode we are going to be going to the Pewter City, and we're going to continue on. But before we do that, there's one thing I want to show you off. If we go to the left of Viridian City, so just take a little left, we're going to find our way to Route 22. Now I'm going to cover the Pokemon right here. We're not going to catch them right away. We will eventually, right after this lengthy rival encounter. Hey Phillip, you're off to the Pokemon League? Forget about it! You probably don't have any badges, do ya? The guard won't let you through without them. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? You bet your ass they are, you jerk. Rival Gary, I'm gonna take you down. You son of a gun? My freaking Pidgey. Starting off on the Leech Seed, and I'm gonna try and lower its attack as much as I can. Oh, that jackass. Sand Attack. I hate it. What Sand Attack does is that it basically lowers a Pokemon's accuracy, which makes it a lot frustrating, especially if you're trying to knock out your opponent. Sometimes it's helpful if you're trying to catch Pokemon and you don't want them knocking you out. It's annoying if you're trying to get attacks dealt to it. Fortunately, it's not a problem. Stop using sand attacks, Jesus Christ! Let's attack before we somehow miss. Oh, now you attack! Okay, here's where we're standing here. I'm going to switch out to Mockingjay, because I want Mockingjay to have some experience. I might change Mockingjay's name later on down the road, but not right now, as far as I'm aware of. He's just gonna get a lot of experience. Holy crap. Although that sand attack is really annoying. And Pidgey is down. Perfect. One down, one more to go. Pidgey's gonna grow up some levels. Level 5, learn Sand Attack, which I absolutely hate. It's going to use Charmander. I'm going to enlist the same strategy that I did with Greg when I did Gary's Pidgey. So Greg is second, you're up again. Start off with Leech Seed, even though it has somewhat no effect, but it's better than... How'd you get crit? Okay. I see how it is, you bastard. We'll growl you. Oh, don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! I know what you're doing, you bastard! But you know what? It ain't gonna work! It ain't gonna work this time! My god, I'm sounding like a crazy, mind-bended, crazy psychomaniac. I don't even know what the hell am I saying at this point. I just want this fight over with, for the love of Christ. Even means having to switch out to the most ridiculous. Alright, we're gonna switch over to Mockingjay as per usual. We're gonna see if we can get Mockingjay some experience and have it grow a few levels, because Mockingjay is gonna be our main priority for training, as far as I'm aware of. So I think one more attack should do the trick. Or that could work, okay? 61 experience? Mockingjay's at level 6. Good! Good! Aw, you just looked out! Shut up. I heard the Pokemon League is crawling with tough trainers. I have to figure out how to get past them. You should quit dawdling and get a move on. Shut up. Shut up. I swear to God. While I get out of here and go heal on my Pokemons, I'm gonna go over the two, actually, is it two? What am I trying to say at this point? I'm gonna go over the Pokemon that you can find in Route 2, at least in the grass area. We're not gonna go, you noticed that there was a patch of water right here? We cannot go through that yet. Well, we can't surf through that yet. We will eventually later on, once we have Surf and a Water-type Pokemon, but for now, we can't. We're not gonna get the Route 22 Pokemon just yet. We're gonna do that a little later in the game. But I want to go over them right now in case you want to get these Pokemon a bit early as possible. But the first of them is Mankey. Mankey is a godsend when it comes to speed, especially if you're playing the Generation 1 games. It has 70 speed. It has base stat have 70 in terms of speed and a base attack stat of 80, which is nice. It also has Vital Spirit as its ability, which makes it immune to sleep and yawn. However, if you choose to use Rest, the move's going to fail, which is kinda sad, but you're gonna have to go with it, really. The main problem, though, is the fact that it has very poor defense and special attack, as you can see by its base stats. With a base stat of both 35 on both defense and special attack, it's not that really much helpful. It also doesn't help with the fact that it's vulnerable to flying and psychic type moves, and in fact your rival will always have a flying type Pokemon on his team. So if you do intend on using Mankey on your team, be careful when you face your rival or really any flying type Pokemon. Don't even think about using Mankey in the psychic type gym in Saffron City. That's a really dumb idea. Don't even think about it. It's not going to affect it whatsoever. Also, it doesn't have that much of a great moveset in Generation 3. in terms of its way it can learn leveling up or with TM. So really, you're gonna have to play around with the moves that you have available to you to give Mankey its proper move set. The odd thing about Mankey though, and this is what I've looked up when I researched about this Pokemon, it's a parallel to Meowth if you look at it that way. I mean, both of them are both Generation 1 Pokemon that evolve into their evolved forms at or above level 28. And it also has to deal with their exclusiveness in the Pokemon games over the generations. Like, for example, Mankey is exclusive to Red, Gold, and Heart Gold, whereas Meowth is exclusive to Blue, Silver, and Soul Silver. Also, both of them have a similar color scheme, which I guess that makes sense if you're trying to see the comparison between Mankey and Meowth. But what makes up for that is its evolved form, Primeape. Primeape is a freaking godsend. It has a base speed stat of 95. If you look simply at the Generation 1 Pokemon, that's 1 to 151, Mankey is hands down the fastest fighting type Pokemon of the Generation 1 Pokemon. It's not the fastest of all Pokemon in existence so far, but it is the fastest one of Generation 1, which is kind of nice. It also has a much stronger attack base stat, 105, which is nice if you're going for those physical attacks. The main problem with Primeape, though, has to do with the fact that I don't want to offend anybody here. I mean, Mankey has really good moves, but you don't see a lot of them, especially with the fire type moves. I mean, I'm looking up the Generation 3 move sets that Primeape can learn just by leveling up. Yes, it has some great fighting type moves in FireRed and Leaf Green and also in Ruby and Sapphire, but they're all over the place, and you don't really know which one you're going to get. But it all depends on which level it will learn it, depending on the games you play. It also doesn't help with the fact that it doesn't have a great move set with its TMs and HMs, so you're gonna have to. So, like Mankey, you're gonna have to play around with that a little bit. The really interesting fact, though, still has to be that Primeape is the fastest fighting type of the Generation 1 games. Not as fast as all the Pokemon in total, but really, what do you have to lose, really? I mean, if you do want a fast fighting type, Primeape's your man. Really. Now, the other Pokemon you can get in the game is Spearow. It has one less evolved form than Pidgey does, but it has some differences between itself and Pidgey when you really think about it. First off, it has to deal with speed. It has 70 speed, which is nice if you're trying to get the fastest flying type of Generation 1, which we're going to talk about a little bit. My main problem, though, and I really hate to say this, you probably don't want to use it, especially in the Rock and Electric type gyms. Don't even think about using it. It also doesn't help that it doesn't have a great moveset leveling up. Mostly has to do with TMs and HMs. So like with Mankey and Primeape, you're going to have to play around with these types of settings just to get the right moveset but otherwise it's much better than Pidgey, so to speak. But again, that's basically your choice, up to you. Or if you just want to catch it for your Pokédex. It does have Kenai, which is a major similarity here. But here's an interesting thing. Spearow apparently is colorblind. And that's actually true if you saw the very first episode of the Pokemon anime, Pokemon I Choose You, as it's known in English dub. Now this doesn't mean Spearow can only see things that are monochrome. I think that just kind of alludes to the Game Boy, really, because remember, I think it kind of alludes really to the very first Pokemon games, Red and Green, as well as with the Game Boy system. I don't know why, it's just a weird comparison, but really that's up to you to decide that. But take a look at its evolved form, Fearow. Fearow is godsend. It's one of the fastest flying types in Generation 1. Not as fast as later Pokemon are concerned, but it is much faster and is a lot more powerful than, say, Pidgey is. Or at least its evolved form, Pidgeotto. But the main difference, I mean, let's put it this way. Here's the main difference between, say, Pidgey... well, let's put it this way. Fearow has much better moveset than Pidgey does, when you really look at it that way. However, there's one thing that people overlooked. Whereas Pidgey, technically speaking, it's a lot more faster to evolve. I mean, let's put it this way: Fearow can evolve at level 20, but Pidgey can evolve into Pidgeot 2 levels before that. On top of that, when you compare stats, here's a little thing: Fearow is much faster than Pidgeotto, not as fast, and even faster than Pidgeot. So it has much better advantages over the Pidgey evolution family. But it's your choice, again, where you want to go with it. And like before, you're gonna have to play around with with what you can in terms of moves to get the best moveset. I think the best move that Fearow can learn is Drill Peck, really. There might be better moves that it can learn, but really that's up to you which one to choose. The only other thing I could possibly mention about Fearow is really has to do with the English names. If you don't know, we have the English names of the Spearow family and the Beedrill family, or at least the Japanese names of the Beedrill family. However, take a look at this. The English names of the Spearow family and the Beedrill family are almost reversed from that in the Japanese version. For example, Beedrill is named Spear, and Fearow, which is Spearow's evolution, is called Onidrill. So you kind of find that little bit of a reverse situation here, but really that's nothing you need to worry about at that point. So once again, go with it wherever you want, but those are the 2 Pokemon you will need to catch in round 22. We're gonna catch them later in the game, don't worry, we will catch them. I'm gonna wait till later though, until we have much stronger Pokemon before I make the strike. Alright, I went and healed and I bought some stuff at the Pokemart, including a few more Pokeballs just for safety measures. I also bought a few potions, I also bought some antidotes, just in case. But if you go talk to this guy, well, now I had my coffee and that's what I need to get going. Well, what does that red box you have? Ah, so you're working on your Pokedex. How'd you know about Pokedex? Holy crap. Then let me give you a word of advice. Whenever you catch a Pokemon, the Pokedex automatically updates its data. You don't know how to catch a Pokemon? We caught 2 of them in last episode. I suppose I had better show you then. Okay. You guys already saw in the last episode that we caught Pokemon, and sometimes we fail miserably, so I don't think it's worth necessarily showing, but just in case you missed out on the last episode, you're just joining in, there you go. That's all I can really say about it, and that Weedle is actually a foreshadow to the Pokemon that we're going to come up in Route 2 and the Viridian Forest. So that's something you're going to be looking forward to. There, now tell me, that was educational, was it not? Sort of. And here, take this too. We get a Teachy TV exclusive in the remakes. If there's something you don't understand, watch that. It will teach you about the basics of being a Pokemon trainer. Thanks? That's all I can really say? Let's get to Route 2. Let's go over the Route 2 Pokemon that we can encounter now, so we can get them out of the way, because we're gonna catch them in the Viridian Forest anyway, and I'd rather save time by explaining them here in Route 2. And it starts off with the Caterpie family, starting off with Caterpie, the worm Pokemon. It's not that great of a bug type, I will say that right now. It has very poor special stats in terms of special attack and special defense. It's also poor in its physical attack. It's mostly a defensive Pokemon, so to speak, but it's not as great in terms of its special moves. It does have a positive thing, though, that's its ability Shield Dust. Basically what Shield Dust does, in case you don't know, if it's attacked by any moves that have additional effects, say like Body Slam that has a 30% chance of paralyzing you or something like that, those effects will be negated entirely and Caterpie will look fine, except it'll obviously take damage. The only exception to that rule is if it's attacked by non-damaging moves. Moves like Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Confuse Ray, Thunder Wave, to name a few. If Caterpie is hit by any of those moves, Shield Dust will not protect it, which is kind of sad. So it's great if you want to add it to your Pokédex. It's not that great if you want it on your team. That's just my opinion. You don't obviously necessarily have to go with this one, but just a little precaution there. So just be careful. Next up, it's its evolved form. It has 2 evolved forms here. First up is Metapod. It's a lot more better than Caterpie does. But it doesn't really improve in terms of its special attack and special defense, or its attack stat, or even its speed. In fact, it's mostly defensive take, and you're kind of screwed if you go with this kind of defensive take. And it's not that great. It doesn't have a great moveset either, but if you want for your Pokédex, which I highly recommend you do if you want to catch every Pokemon legitimately in one catch, it's fine. The only problem is that you're going to have to deal with Flying, Rock, and Fire types, and this is not a great combination if you do attempt those. On top of this, it can barely learn anything. The only thing it can learn is Harden, which is only a defensive move, and only resists its defense. It has no physical moves whatsoever, aside from the ones that Caterpie has. The only interesting thing about this is that, now keep in mind, Metapod evolves to level 7, but it does come with a little key tip, and that comes into the form of its ability Shed Skin. This gives Metapod and any Pokemon with Shed Skin a 30% chance of being cured of status conditions like burn, paralysis, sleep, frozen, and mostly poison. The fun fact about Metapod, though, is that not only... okay, let's just backtrack ourselves here. Metapod is known as the Cocoon Pokemon, but it's not the only Pokemon that is called that. It shares its category name actually with Kakuna, Silcoon, and Cascoon in Generation 3. And they also, all 4 of them share the same base stat total, learn set, ability, and also EV yield. And it also ties them having the lowest base stat total actually. So it's not that great if you're going to use it in battle. In fact, I don't recommend using it at all. But if you want it for your Pokédex, then definitely go for it. Really, just go for it. It's a great Pokemon to add to your Pokédex, not so much when it comes to battling. And then finally, we have Butterfree, which is a major 1-up over Caterpie and Metapod. It has the ability Compound Eyes, which increases the accuracy of the user's moves by 30% when it's in battle. It evolves to level 10 from Metapod, and it has a great moveset, a stat base. There's actually an improvement here. It has a lot to do with more with special attack and special defense than it is with physical offense. It also has decent speed, I will say that too. The only downside though is that because it becomes a part flying type, it's now more vulnerable to rock types than it was before. It also is more vulnerable to electric types and ice types for that matter, so be careful if you do intend on using it. Our positive thing about Butterfree, and I will say this in a good meaning, is that it has some pretty good moves in Generation 3, and especially if you choose to use TMs and HMs for it. Once again, play around with the TMs and HMs to get the best moveset, but honest to God, it's not a recommendation in battle, but it is great if you want to have it for your Pokédex. I will say that. If you want to have a little bit of a fun fact though, which is kind of interesting, and I will say this right now, much like Mankey is with Meowth, Butterfree is a parallel to Bijo. At their unevolved stages, they evolve at level 7 and again at level 10. They both grew to Metamorphosis-like evolution, and they have the same base stat total of 395. Also, let's say this right now. Bijo is a version exclusive of Pokemon Black and Pokemon Black 2. Butterfree, on the other hand, is exclusive to White and White 2. So, if you have those games, go for those Pokemon if you have them in those games. But otherwise, you may want to pass on this one, but once again, I'm not pressuring you guys into choosing which Pokemon team. I'm just saying these if you want to catch them for your Pokédex. Moving on to the Weedle family, though, these will be part Poison in addition to being the part Bug type. They still evolve at level 7 and level 10 respectively, but this one's a huge 1-up over Caterpie. The only flaw to that though is that it has way poor stats than Caterpie does in terms of defense, special attack, and special defense. It's more of an offensive Pokemon and it has better speed. But otherwise, it's not that great of a Pokemon. I hate to admit this, but it is true. It doesn't have great moves until it levels up. Even in Generation 6, it only has one move that can level up at level 15, Bug Bite. But that didn't exist in Generation 3. And in fact, it only has two moves leveling that has right off the bat, and that's it, nothing else. So that kind of sucks. It also doesn't help that it's also weak to psychic types as well, so be careful if you choose to have Weedle on your team if you want to have Beedrill, which is a much better Pokemon. The only fun, interesting fact about this is that it actually has the lowest base stat total of all poison type Pokemon. It's also the only Pokemon that can't learn any normal type moves at all. Moving on though, let's go to Kakuna. Much like Metapod, it's a defensive tank. Yeah, I will say that it slightly improves on our stats, not so much with attack necessarily, but it still has technically the same moveset and all that stuff. It's, once again, you want to go with this one, really go for it. The only sad thing about Kakuna though, and I hate to say this, once again, it doesn't have that like terrific great moveset. Not by any means. It also doesn't help with the fact that really it's useless again in battles. It can only do Harden, really, and that's not really a great move if you. It's really risky on this one. I mean, you can harden as much as you can to increase its defense up to the maximum, but that's usually kind of risky, and I don't think I intend on using it. Here's a weird thing about Kakuna, and it's kind of interesting that I bring this out. Apparently, Kakuna has arms, and it's red and blue spray, and they're commonly mistaken to be a sprite error since they're rarely shown anywhere medium. But they've been only showing its red and blue spray as well as a Pocket Monsters Bud Light card. In fact, I'll show it up right now. This was Ken Sugimori artwork right here with Kakuna's arms extended. So this kind of shows that Kakuna has quote-unquote arms. But again, people mistake that as a sprite error, but really, I find that a little hard to believe, really. The last Pokemon that we're going to go over is its final evolved form, Beedrill. Major improvement over Butterfree, sort of, but it does have one move, and that's called, one ability I should say, and that's called Swarm. This is one of those abilities that is similar to that the starter's abilities on a whole, and that's Swarm. Basically what this does is that, like most of the other abilities we've shown off already, basically, if Beedrill has at most 1/3 of its health, the power of its bug type moves increase by 1.5 times the power it has. So it's really good. In addition, it also can Mega Evolve into Mega Beedrill in Generation 6, which is kind of nice. There's one sad thing though, and I really hate to point this out. The sad thing about that is that it's mostly a special defensive tank, despite being an offensive wall. A great offensive Pokemon. It still has the same weaknesses, but it has better moves than Butterfree does. However, we're going to be eventually coming up to, well, let me just say this right now. It's not a great Pokemon to have in battle in rock against rock types, fire types, and psychic types, on top of flying types as well. So be careful if you do choose to use Beedrill. I will also say this right now. It may have the greater stats than, say, Butterfree does, but it doesn't have any poison type moves it can learn leveling up, which means you're gonna have to rely on TMs and HMs, which is the sad thing because really there's only one that can deal some damage, and that's Sludge Bomb, but that's it. Basically, there's nothing else that it can learn, which is a really sad thing. Hey, if you want to use Beedrill, you're gonna have to cope with not having that much poison type moves that are useful. Here's a weird thing about Beedrill though, in case you want to figure this out. Prior to Black and White, the Generation 5 games, it's actually the only known Pokemon to learn Twin Needle by leveling up. The only other thing is that it's originally going to be spelled Beedrill with one L, not Beedrill with two L's. Kinda creepy, don't you think? But, cup of it. Okay, I hope that worthwhile, lengthy explanation was great enough for you. And there's not going to be another battle until we get the one Pokemon with a 5% encounter rate. I came in with some friends catching some bug Pokemon. They're all itching to get into some Pokemon battles. What the hell? Okay, I don't know what was going on with my emulator. That's weird. I like exploring. Okay, I don't know what that interference was. And Remy Carrot and hates a Weedle. Great. Ugh. Don't get me started with strength shots. I hate it. Okay, I don't want to risk getting it knocked out, so let's just catch it with the Pokeball. Pokeball, go! What? Should have expected that. The first Pokeball I throw at a new wild Pokemon just fails after like 3 shakes. But that's okay, because second time's a charm. God damn it. Weedle, the hairy bug Pokemon. Often found in forests and grasslands, it has a sharp, toxic barb of around 2 inches on top of its head. And no, we are not going to capture it. Here's a free Pokeball to make up for the one that failed. The last Pokemon we're going to go over this episode is definitely the cutest Pokemon I have ever seen, which is why I wanted to use on my team. And that is Pikachu, the mouse Pokemon, better known as the mascot of the Pokemon franchise, as well as one of the most popular Pokemon to date. It is really good in speed, and it also has a good ability called Stag, which means if you make physical contact with Pikachu, there's a 30% chance you're going to get paralyzed. It is also mostly a physical and special offensive wall. Not that great with defense and special offense, though. It does have a godsend move that can learn leveling up, and that is Thunder. Take a look at its power. 120 power compared to 40 power of Thundershock, its starting move. Don't even think about messing with Pikachu, otherwise you're gonna get your butts handed to you in some way. It also has Shockwave that can learn via TMs, but that's pretty much about it. Playing around with this Pokemon's moveset, I'm gonna try and figure out what moveset is best for Pikachu, so that it gives me a good advantage, really, when it comes to later battles, especially when we get to the Viridian City Gym. That's gonna be a great thing to know, and it's also gonna be useful in our rival battles, which is nice because who doesn't love to have a Pikachu on their team? Who doesn't, really? A really fun fact about Pikachu, though, well, 2 facts in particular. One is very interesting. The English voice actresses for Ash Ketchum, the main protagonist of the main Pokemon anime, Veronica Taylor and Sarah Nalchani, both commonly say that Pikachu is their favorite Pokemon. Though, let's also be clear, Nalchani also states that Mew is also her favorite, so technically, but Taylor and Nalchani both have Pikachu as their common favorites. The other fact to consider is something that completely blew my mind when I first read it, and it's kind of an interesting thing too, and I'm going to quote directly from Bulbapedia. I'll link you to the article if you to the Bulbapedia article if you want to check out this fact yourself. But did you know that in 2008, Japanese researchers discovered a new protein that helps carry electrical impulses from the eyes to the brain and named it Pikachurin? According to the researchers, the decision was based on both the Pokemon and the protein possessing quote-unquote lightning-fast moves and shocking electric effects, end quote. That fact completely blew my mind. particularly, and I was shocked to figure this out myself. I looked at that fact, I was like, are you serious? They named a protein after a Pokemon? I mean, we had many other things that were based on like video games. We had one, I think we had like a gene based on Sonic the Hedgehog, and also I think there was something that was originally named Pokemon after the game, after the name of the franchise. But still, a Pikachuin protein, a protein called Pikachuin, blew my mind really, and it was godsmacked. Like, let's say that for sure. Now you may have noticed that I went straight to Pikachu and not to its pre-evolved form. Keep in mind, the pre-evolved form didn't exist until Generation 2. And the only way you can get the pre-evolved form is if you breed Pikachu, which is why I intended to get a female Pikachu for that specific purpose. We're gonna go over that a little later when we get to Pokemon Daycare in Route 5, but that's not until a little later, so we're gonna go over that very soon. Just not now, so don't worry about it.
This? Really? Already? Pikachu? Okay, let's just go over it then. Okay, that's actually weird. Oh god, okay. I was about to have a heart attack if it actually got knocked out. Okay, Pokeball Go. Once, twice. Damn it. That was gonna work. Sadly didn't. Once, twice, 3 times. Come on! It was painful enough trying to catch ya. I'm surprised I actually found a Pikachu when I specifically said it had 5% count rate. What the fuck? Come on! Ooh, the Thunder Shock. Okay, I gotta be careful. Okay, let's switch out to Greg the second. And let's just drain this female Pikachu's HP a little bit, very slowly, even though it clearly does not look female. No, if you look at the avatar, like, here's a sprite of, here's a picture of Pikachu's sprite when it's a female. Yeah. That's good to know. Alright. That should buy me some time. Greg the second is paralyzed. That's brilliant. Great way to make things worse. Meanwhile, back to chucking Pokeballs. Trying to get used to saying Pokeballs and Pokemon instead of Pokemon on Pokeballs. And finally we got it. Holy crap. I'm so surprised I got Pikachu on the second encounter of Viridian Forest. Like, the past few takes, it took me forever to find one, and now somehow I managed to catch a Pikachu when I encountered it on my second encounter. What am I trying to say? On the second encounter of Viridian Forest, we got a Pikachu, and I somehow managed to catch it, even though I wasted about, I think it was like 4 Pokeballs. I'll take it! Pikachu, the mouse Pokemon. It has small electric sacs on both its cheeks. If threatened, it loses electric charges from the sacs. And we are going to name it, and I think I have the perfect name for it. Actually, no. Let me actually get a good name out of the way. I got it. The name that I like to use, it's one of the Japanese meanings for light. There's actually 4 of them here when I'm looking at the name. I think we'll go with Karui. That sounds feasible, right, guys? Karui. Karui. I like it. I think it's a brilliant name. That's why we're gonna use it. Alright, I'll be back. I don't have a paralysis healing matters. And Greg is paralyzed. Actually, I don't think we'll need to go back. I should probably use one of my potions. Just as a fail-safe measure. Fail-safe. Alright, we're gonna switch right over here. So, the official members of our team, Mockingjay, Greg II, and Kyrie. Weedle, not included. Let's just keep going, and hopefully we don't have any great balls of fail. Let's see where this goes. For poison, use antidote! Get at Pokemon Arts! We kinda get the point. And I just went in a big circle, did I? Yep. Hey, in the process, Mockingjay grew to level 7! Did not lose moves, sadly. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, we're back. Alright. Let's keep exploring Viridian Forest. What do you have to say? I was storing Pokeballs to catch Pokemon, and I ran out. That's why you can never have too many Pokeballs. Okay? You hold when I am back here. A free potion! That's brilliant, actually. What the fuck? Okay. And first battle! Hey, you have Pokemon! Come on, let's battle them! Ooh, crap. Here we go. The catcher Rick has a Weedle! Oh god, this is gonna be a nightmare. Let's see here. So I think we'll hit twice as Mockingjay, and then we're gonna switch over to Kirby, and hopefully we will get some good hits. So let's switch out to Kirby, even though technically Mockingjay is better. I want to have Kirby some experience. Want to grow bond with her. I'm going to be referring to Kirby as a her, as a she, by the way, because it's female. And that's why I have an antidote. That's why I bought those antidotes, which is very useful. 33 experience. Oh, I thought I was gonna do something. Not wrong. Caterpie. Oh no, the poison only does one. Takes off 1 HP, which is kind of pointless. Oh, don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Halfway there. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. I will love it. Caterpie would stop using String Shot. Thank you. Oh god, the poison. Stop using String Shot! God damn it! Just one more. Just one more. Oh god! Okay, thank goodness! Already getting a lot of experience out of that. Oh my god! That was a nightmare. 2 levels? That's brilliant. And that's it. No, Caterpie can't hack it! I don't even want to know what definition of hack can mean. Shh! You'll scare the bugs away another time, okay? Okay. Let's see, Okari, and also cured of its poison. It really sucks if it actually got knocked out. Alright, let's keep going. We're gonna take on these trainers. Actually, I want to go up here because I want to actually also catch the other 3 Pokemon. And stop getting Weedles! Hey, there's a Metapod! Interesting. Very interesting, actually. All it really does is basically hearted, so it shouldn't be really a problem to try and catch. Yep. Oh, what? should have expected to miss. God damn it. Wall keeps hardening. I think we'll try and lower a little bit to the red zone. There we go, that's where we want. And gotcha. Well, we're back to the 5 Pokeballs. Make that 4. Gotcha. You're mine. Metapod's designed to the Pokedex. Metapod, the cocoon Pokemon. Even though it's encased in a sturdy shell, the body inside is tender. It can't withstand a harsh attack. Nope. Well, what? Okay, what about you? Yo, you can't jam out if you're a Pokemon trainer. Whatever. Bug catcher, Doug. Doug. I was about to start singing the theme song to the Doug Show. Not gonna chance that. How many of you guys have actually watched the Doug Show? A little off topic, but how many of you guys have actually watched it? It was a great show when I used to watch it. Now the nostalgia is kind of rubbing off on me, really, with that show, but I did like it when I was a kid. I mean, I remember it was on, I think it was on Nickelodeon first and then on Disney, I want to say, or was it the other way around? I think it was the other way around. No, they're on Disney, and then it's currently rerunning on Nickelodeon or something. I can't remember. I can't remember things. Brilliant. Oh god. Okay. And Mockingjay is not going to survive. Or it did. As soon as I say it. As soon as I say it. God damn it. No, Mockingjay. No. Connery, go. Finish this battle with a Thundershock, for Christ's sakes! Retaliation! All that experience. Holy crap. Brilliant. Oh, you bastard. Oh, come on! First Mockingjay and now Connery? What the hell? Holy crap! Quit it with the poison sting! Jesus! There we go. It's down. 70 experience. Level 6. Brilliant. Perfect. Hey, learn Tail How are you learning Tail Awesome. And here's a Kakuna. Let's see if we can hold out on this one. I think we might be able to hold out on this one. Although it's sour that we lost Mockingjay in the process, but I'll take it. I almost sound like Sega Saturn from the Sega Hard Girls anime. Have you guys actually watched that, by the way, the Sega Hard Girls anime? It's really great, actually. It's a Miku Dance style anime about 3 console tons versions of the Sega consoles. The Dreamcast, the Mega Drive, and the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn is honestly one of my, of all 3 of them, I want to say my favorite. I want to say it's a tie between Sega Saturn and Sega Dreamcast. Dreamcast is very hilarious because sometimes her writing makes absolutely no sense. Dreamcast is hilarious because she's trying to calm the situation and approach it in her own way, but sometimes you gotta live without it. That's all the reality of it. I love the anime, by the way. The Sega Hard Girls anime, you definitely have to watch it to be able to experience what I'm trying to say, because the anime basically pays homage to all the Sega games. Let's just say that. I guess while I'm going down to heal up again, I guess I could talk a little bit about what the Sega Hard Girls anime is, in case you guys don't know. The Sega Hard Girls in general, they are console versions of the Sega consoles, so various consoles of the Sega console era, Sega console generation specifically. They're actually great, and 3 of them, Sega Saturn, Mega Drive, and Sega Dreamcast, all have are a trio in an anime based on the Sega Hard Girls in general. It's basically about Saturn, Dreamcast, and Mega Drive. For those who don't know, it's Genesis in the US, but in Japan it's called Mega Drive. They basically attend a Sega academy, an academy where they have to visit the worlds of the Sega games, of the various games of the Sega era, both the Dreamcast era, the Saturn era, and even the 8-bit, 16-bit era, as well as the modern games to this day. And it's very funny. They actually have to reach, if memory serves about the plot, 100 credits to graduate. And I'm not going to spoil anything in the anime, but let's just say a lot of Sega games are paid homage to in each of these episodes. It's very short though, sadly, but I would definitely love to see another season of it, because I honestly love the anime, really. I have it like ranked high on Anime Planet. But meanwhile, we found ourselves Cappy while I was rambling on about Sega Hard Girls. So let's... Oh god, I was about to have a heart attack. I was about to have a heart attack. That actually knocked out Caterpie when I need to catch it. Oh, we will without fail. Perfect. All that's left is Kakuna. And that's basically all the Pokemon we can actually catch. Caterpie, the worm Pokemon, is covered with a green skin. When it grows, it sheds the skin, covers itself with silk, and becomes a cocoon. Okay. Let's keep going. And there's an item in the middle of the road, a free antidote. Don't know what's that doing there. And there's a trainer we can fight if we head up and around. I might be low, but I won't like it if you go easy on me. Bring it on! Bug catcher Anthony likes to battle with a Caterpie, starting off level 7. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, what? You jerk! You get critical on me. Okay, that has to be done. Let's see here. Speed falls. Doesn't really matter, cause Caterpie's going down. Bam! Down! Take that! Jerk. I'm Tinker's level 8. Perfect. And there's another Caterpie, and I'm gonna switch over to Kari because I want Kari to have some experience. So Kari, go! Pikachu! That was the worst Pikachu impression I've ever made. Okay, Thunder Shock should do the trick. A few Thunder Shocks, indeed. I gotta stop repeating myself these days. Because apparently that happens every time I try to do a live commentary session when I'm trying to play a video game. Alright, Caterpie's going down. If it could stop using String Shot! Holy crap! There we go! It's down. I need experience. Brilliant. No level up, Sally. Nope, do nothing right. You serves you right. Let's keep going. Hopefully we're on to Kakuna very soon. Gonna take a little trip up and around the grass. Get into an encounter with Caterpie. By the way, I should probably mention, if you guys are wondering what the heck is going on with the frame rate, I'm recording this since I don't have the abilities or money really to be able to record my copy of FireRed on a Nintendo GameCube. I'm actually recording this on a Visual Boy Advance emulator with the ROM of the game, and I'm running it via fraps at 6 frames a second. In the first episode, then again, you saw it at about 20 frames. Did you know that Pokemon evolve? Yeah, obviously, I know that. But catcher Charlie. But yeah, I'm recording this on Visual Boy Advance, which is running at 6 frames per second, and I'm recording it via fraps. And apparently, trying to run a VBA at 6 frames per second while recording with fraps sounds like a bad idea because apparently I had some problems, especially with lag. I'm gonna try playing around the settings to make sure I have the best smooth setting of 60 frames per second. I can't guarantee it though. I can't guarantee it though, but I'll try. I'll try. Tiny bit. Come on. Go down. Come on! The rage-inducing mode. What the fuck? Okay? Don't know what the hell is up with that. Mockingjay grows to level 9. It's already up to par with Greg II and learned Gus, which is brilliant! Alright, Caterpie's up next. We're gonna switch out. Give Kari some screen time. Let's do a Thunder Shock for good measure. Just to be on the safe side. Perfect. And it's down. Kari's gonna get some more experience out of it. Yes, level 8. And learn Thunder Wave too, that's awesome! Gonna be really useful! Not in the first gym, but hopefully in the second gym. Alright, Metapod's last. Actually, we're gonna keep Kari out. I wanna see if it's possible to weaken them with Thunder Wave. Our newfound Thunder Wave. Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Let's use a few Tail Whips for good measure. Then again, it's probably going to be counter anyway, because Meppa loves using the godforsaken Harden. Thankfully it doesn't. Shut up, phone! I probably should have silenced it before starting to record this. Professionalism on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Professionalism. I was unplugging my charger for a record. And let's use the Thunder Shock. Now that's more like it! Alright, a few more, and that should be it for Metapod, and that should be almost all the trainers. We just got one more to deal with. 108 experience! Did not level up. Oh! I lost! Both Pokemon evolve quickly, they're a lot of fun. Yeah, we know that. I'm hoping we can find the Kakuna before we end off this episode when we arrive in Pewter City, which is our next destination. Greg II grew to level 10 and learned Vine Whip! Yes! That's what we want. This is actually becoming a much better take than the past takes trying to record this episode. We get a free potion! Perfect! Not that I probably wouldn't need it right now, but maybe. Are we seriously gonna go without finding Kakuna? No, hell, we are. Alright, this should be the last of the trainers. Hey, wait up, what's a hurry? Why the rush? We're taking our time exploring. How's that rushing? By any means, I don't know. Go Mockingjay! Take down! What? You know what this calls for? A final switch up. Kari, go! And for good measure, Thunder Shock. If Pikachu can survive the poison. Alright, it's down. Pikachu grew to level 10, that's awesome! And Kari almost grew level. You're good at this. Alright, before we go on a search for Kakuna, I probably should heal off the antidote. Alright, Kari's cured the poisoning. Let's go find a Kakuna. Finally, we found a Kakuna. Holy crap. I was not expecting it to take so long to try and find a Kakuna. I mean, I'm looking at Bulbapedia right now. On FireRed, Kakuna has a encounter rate of 10%, where Metapod has 5% encounter rate. In Leaf Green, it's the opposite way. But holy crap, I was not expecting it to take so long to find one of these. Holy crap. It's weird because I thought I'm playing the wrong game apparently. I swear I'm playing FireRed, and yet somehow, okay, the Caterpie and Leo encounters make sense. The Pikachu encounters, which are also 5%, somewhat make sense. The fact that I keep getting Metapods at a 5% encounter rate, and rarely find Kakunas at all, that does make sense. But anyways, Maki-J actually grew a level while I was out trying to search in frustration to find a Kakuna, and also had a little bit of bad luck. It was actually fighting a Pikachu, and it somehow got paralyzed because of Pikachu's stack ability. And now apparently it can't move, making it harder for me to try and actually work out Kakuna's HP. Okay, there we go. Come on! It was already a hard time trying to actually find a Kakuna. Now you're gonna have a hard time trying to weaken one? Holy crap! There we go! Let's use a Pokeball before I get too cocky. And it's a once, it's a twice, 3 times. Seriously? Right now, Pokeballs too, that's the worst part. Once, twice, 3 times. Gotcha. Frustrating enough trying to get every Pokemon in every area possible. Jesus. Kakuna, the Cocoon Pokemon. This Pokemon is in a temporary stage while making its body. It is almost completely unable to move on its own. I do not want to nickname it. I'll meet you guys at the end of Viridian Forest. Okay, with the frustrations out of the way, we can finally progress. If you notice the skinny trees on the roadside, they can be cut down by a special Pokemon move I hear. Well, we can't get that move yet, and I don't think we have an actual Pokemon that we can have learn to cut trees. Do you know the evolution cancel technique? When a Pokemon is evolving, you can start the process. It's a technique for raising Pokemon the way they are. All you need to do is just press B on the evolution screen. Many Pokemon live only in forests and caves. You need to be persistent and look everywhere to get different kinds, which is what we've been trying to do this entire Let's Play. Well, which is what we're trying to do this Let's Play, and essentially this entire episode. But anyways, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to stop moving back and forth. I would like to welcome you all to Pewter City, a Stone Ray City. Psst, do you know what I'm doing? Sure? That's right, it's hard work. Okay, what do you have to say? Serious Pokemon trainers here. They're all like bug catchers, you know, just hobbyists. The purest Gym's Brock isn't like that, not one bit. Okay. And I think that's where we're gonna end off here. Sorry for this being entirely long. It was such a frustration. Oh my god, trying to catch every Pokemon in the Viridian Forest. Jesus. But I hope it was definitely worth it. But yes, that's gonna be it for this episode. Join us next time for when we explore a little bit of Pewter City before taking on the Pewter City Gym. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow me for more PhillipPlays content on YouTube. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for all the greatest updates to the latest content, as well as all my latest streams over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SCool1. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like as well. Leave a comment, talk about the video, let me know what you think of it, let me know what decision I could have made, let me know of any tips you have for me for my adventures in Pokémon FireRed. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Phillip, I'm a Let's Player, and I will see you guys next time for more Pokémon FireRed. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go heal up at the Pokémon Center, so on that, I'll see you guys next time.